Hi everybody, my name's Dave, thanks for joining me, and today we're cleaning out the intake manifolds. I'm doing my best to try and get the carbon out of these things. I've got them more or less clean. I went to Super Cheap this morning to try and find an extended brush, couldn't find one, ended up buying two more of these, just hand brushes. I'll get the carbon out of these in a minute when this is soaked in a little bit. This is Aldi Special, it's 3-in-1 all-purpose cleaner and degreaser. It seems to be the best option. They had nothing at Super Cheap, nothing at all. Didn't even know what I was talking about when I was on about cleaning out carbon out of intakes. Talk about useless. I spoke to a guy and he put me onto a woman who had no, she said, oh, I've never heard of that. How can you never hear of cleaning out carbon out of a head? Out of an intake in a head. Anyway, I've cleaned the head out, I'm cleaning the intakes out now. I'm just going to get in with a brush. I might not even open them. It's a bit sticky, this carbon. It gets everywhere when you're cleaning it, I know that much. I might get a clean set of brushes out. Top tip, the brushes I bought from Repco versus the brushes I bought from Super Cheap are completely different. You can see that there, the head on the brush from Super Cheap on the right, as opposed to the brushes from Repco on the left, these are much more substantial. They don't have flexible handles like the Repco ones do, but these Repco ones fit in these smaller parts a lot better. So that's a top tip. If you want to do these smaller parts, get a Repco brush, because they fit in there better than the Super Cheap ones do. Let's have a look in there, see how we're doing. We'll give it a clean out and have a look. It is a messy job, this. Very messy. It's coming out, it's slowly but surely coming out. As you can see, it's getting out there. It's going to be coming out of this engine for a long time, this crap. The amount of carbon in there, even with a catch can, is unbelievable. Can you imagine what your car must be like if it's direct injection like this? Get in there though, cleaning it. Might have to get in with something a bit more substantial in a minute, like a plastic scraper or something. Hi everybody, I'm back again. Where we've been, I've been out and jet washed it out on the road there. You would not believe some of the lumps that came out of them intakes. Nearly the size of a golf ball, one of them. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean out the EGR port, let the manifold dry out a bit. So that's where we're at the moment. Alright everybody, I've just jet washed this outside. I really concentrated on this chamber here, and I've just got that out of there. It's about 1/2 inch thick all the way inside. I just noticed it on the side when I took this plastic component out. Which I've now lost. There it is. I took this sensor out, which looks like some sort of coolant sensor. Just get the focus back going again. It looks like some sort of coolant sensor, and I cleaned it all up, and then you can actually see inside the hole where it sticks through, which is down there. Then I noticed that there, which it might be a bit bright for you guys. Try that. And I noticed all that in there, and then I thought to myself, I better give it a clean out. So I started cleaning it out, and I got all that out, so it's going to be a while. So what I'm also doing is I'm discharging that battery over there. As you can see, it's got a couple of lights working on it. So what I'm actually doing is trying to discharge it. So this is the daily BMS monitoring system. It's set to 50%, well no, it's actually down to 52%. I'm discharging it at 4.4 amps, it's been going all night. So I don't think there's anything actually wrong with the battery, but I'm trying to balance the cells. And to balance the cells, I'm trying to get these equal. Can you see that one's at 3.19 and the highest is 3.273, and that lowest one is 3.196. Now they're within spec, but when the other battery charged, it charged to 14.2 volts, and it charged all of them and balanced them. So what I'm doing is taking this below 50%, and then what I'm going to do is hopefully be able to charge it back up again once it's below 50%, and then it will charge back up and balance the cells correctly. We'll see what happens though. I may have to get a BMS balancer. Okay everybody, I just wanted to show you that after I cleaned out this intake manifold with jet washer, I was happy with it till I put one of the picks in there and started to scrape all that from just in that part to the right of that hole. That's all that's come out from. Anyway, moving on to this battery, as you can see by the red number there, that's the high cell, and the low cell is the blue number. 3 and 4 are still not balancing correctly, so I think I might have to put an active balancer in there or a passive balancer, one of the two. I'll have to go do a bit of research, but I'm going to leave the battery on charge, go do some research, come back. Been a couple of hours, I've had to go sort some things out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and re-jet wash this intake manifold, make sure I can get all of the carbon out of it and give myself the best shot.
24 hours later.
Hello and welcome to day 2, putting the car back together. Yesterday I cleaned the tape manifold, and today I'm going to put all the part components back on there. I stopped at the throttle body because I couldn't remember which way around it went, but I think I've got that sorted now. On another note, I just wanted to bring up a young man called Stefan, who's been sued by a company called DCS, Deep Cycle Systems, out of Queensland. A battery company that have not got very good reviews from what I've seen. I don't know about the ins and outs of the battery he tested. It was an under bonnet lithium. I remember Battery World having one of those and it wasn't very huge success. A lot of failures. I can only imagine this one's the same. Lots of negative reviews on product review. But the problem is that this guy's getting sued, and if he loses and DCS wins, that means that all of the reviews that people like me do are going to be stopped, because this company is going to get hated. People are going to hate them. They already hate them, but it's going to get hated. It's going to be a bit like Jeremy Clarkson when he punched that producer. Everybody hated the producer because of that. It's just one of those things, I think. Anyway, if you can, I'll put a link in the description below. Try and support the guy. I sent some money to help him out with his court cases. He needs about $90,000, and he had about 60,000 when I last checked. So I'll put some reviews underneath to people who are describing his plight. Hopefully somebody can give him a hand. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to get on with the car. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm trying to fit the inlet manifold with the new gasket there onto the side of the head, ready to go on. Now, I've cleaned all these threads up, but I'm just going to go over them again. Got all the nuts and stuff in a bag, so I'll get them and go over them, and then I should be ready to put them together. I'll need to find the torque settings and what have you. Alright, I've cleaned both surfaces up and I'm ready to go, so I'll go find the nuts and bolts. And I was wondering whether this is a good time to tell you about removing studs. Studs like these here and this one. This one here was in here. I noticed this when I tried to put the manifold on. There's supposed to be 3 nuts on there and there wasn't, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I realised what it was. It was that Rob had chopped off one of the nuts to get the manifold off, and this is it. So if you get 2 nuts and screw them together like so, you can then undo the inner nut and it will take the stud out of the thread. You can also put them in like that as well, and then you just need a couple of spanners to get the 2 nuts apart and take them off once you've got it tight. So I've got a stud that's been replaced here with some stud bar. So what I'm going to do is take this stud out. So you screw one nut on and then you put the other nut on next to it, and you tighten them both together against each other. two 13mm spanners for this. And then you undo the inside one until the stud comes out, like so. That's it. And then all you do then is you just undo the two nuts, like so, and they should just come straight off. So if you find you can't get one of the nuts off, get a pair of pliers like these, and then just hold it while you get the nut off, because the nut's more important than the threaded bar, which is no use. Well, that's it. That's how you get a stud out, and I'm going to put a new stud in. Okay, what I'm going to show you now is how to change the injector sleeve seals when you get your header part. Now, I would say it's always worthwhile cleaning out the injector sleeves. That's the injector sleeve in there. The injectors fit inside those. This is an injector sleeve removal tool. You can see it's got two pegs at the end and flexible prongs. I'm about to show you how to use it. Hopefully you can see it that. So you take the peg out the end. I'll show you what that peg's for in a minute. Now it should be this orientated this way, so you tap it in till you feel it locate into the hole, like so. You tighten down this nut until that tube goes tight. Now you could put a little washer under that, but I haven't caused any damage, so I'm not going to bother. I did look for one. Once you've got that tight, you put this in. That stops the legs splaying apart and it not removing the sleeve. Now I'm using a pair of pliers like this because you can't get a socket on, and I don't have a spanner the right size. So what I'm doing, if ever you've got the head off and you're renewing stuff, it's definitely worthwhile renewing the injector sleeve seal. Now there's nothing holding this in except friction and the actual O-rings you put in there. So once you get it to a certain point, you can turn it by hand. And it will come out. Now one of the things that we're going to do here is we're going to clean these out, and we're going to clean the hole out that they fit in, because any dirt in those places can cause a lack of a seal, and a lack of a seal is not a good thing in this case. Coming out now. There we go. And there's your injector sleeves. Now once you got it this far, pull the peg out, turn the nut back so you've got enough space, and then use the tool you've been using to splay the legs and get the injector sleeve off, like so. Right, we'll give it a clean. Take the O-rings off, put new ones on. So you'll see inside, it's quite dirty in there. Don't know if you can see that. Also the hole that it came out can be quite dirty too. So what I always do is I give it a quick squirt of brake cleaner, like so. And first of all I get a nylon brush and rub the nylon brush inside the hole, vertical scrub, and then another quick squirt before I go in with a cloth and clean it round. Now you must use a nylon brush, you can't use a metallic brush because you're working in an alloy head here. Right, I'll show you something else in a moment too. So what we'll do is take the old O-rings off because we're going to renew them anyway. We don't know the history of these particular O-rings. So there's the two old O-rings. Now you'll find that it's a bit dirty in these grooves too. Pretty grotty, the oil that comes up into these areas. So these holes also that we used to pull them out, they're used, I believe that's an oil feed. I'm not 100% certain, but I believe that's an oil feed. What you'll need is a straight prong like this. Hook your cloth onto it and then force it up through the top. And then give it a good soaking with brake cleaner. Yeah, not in my face. And then what I do is usually get a long screwdriver and then twist the cloth around at the bottom. The flat blade of the screwdriver will cause the cloth to wrap around it, and you can use it then as a cleaner. That should be fairly clean in there now. It's a bit dirty up near the top here, so I'll just give it a clean round. Yep, that's nice and clean now in there. Okay, so the next job is with a new tin of brake cleaner, to give that a good spray down there. Get your cloth, get a clean bit of cloth, stick that down the hole and turn it so it starts to twist. That way you can clean the base. This part here where it goes into the head can be cleaned. So what you need to do now is install your new O-rings. Now these are not ordinary O-rings, these are Vitron O-rings. Viton O-rings, sorry, not Vitron. Viton O-rings. These are all the old ones. Chuck them down there because they're going in the bin. These are all new ones in here. But Viton O-ring 3 to 20, pack of 10. So this one here is the one I'm using on the smaller one. And then I'm using one from a kit that I got from Chris on the project channel. He sells these O-rings as the large one because I don't have that size. Okay, so the next job is dielectric grease. Dielectric grease is also lubricant for O-rings.